Right, just doing a quick reaction video to the BBB video about Zlaner saying he's lied to us all and why he's hacking. Just going to break down the video in terms of go through the things that BBB says, why they are right or not right, my opinion on that, and then go from there. I am a 4KD Warzone player, so I do consider myself sort of more top tier player. So therefore, my views would be based on sort of top tier understanding of the game and mechanics, etc, etc. So let's get straight into the video, and we'll pause it as we go through and address what BBB says, whether or not he's right, wrong, or what we think about what he's saying. So here we go.
Some kills, dropped a 20 bomb, then went into another game and dropped high kills. He showed that he was able to do that. He showed what was loaded up on the computer. He had 4 cameras set up. Zlaner didn't do that. In fact, Zlaner didn't mention to his viewers who were watching this video that he had to run 7 games to drop a 28 kill game. Now right here is the COD tracker from February 4th.
I mean, drop 7 games to get a 28 kill game. I don't understand what your issue is at. Again, that's not proof that someone's cheating. You can't prove someone's cheating by saying you had to take 7 games to get 28 kills. What does that mean? How's that? It's not proof of anything. And if you do think higher KD players are just dropping 20-30 bombs every game, then you clearly don't watch their streams or watch enough gameplay of higher KD players or any players in general to really understand that that's not a realistic expectation. Him there, the 0-0 weren't even games. So actually, if we look at his games, he got a 4, 16, 6, a 0, 28. It's like a fairly sort of solid run of sort of 5 games there. You know, a 16, 6, 28. Fairly sort of standard, especially in solo duos, so don't really see any problems with that at all.
2021. This was the day that Zlaner recorded the gameplay where he got 28 kills and finished 4th. It was not the best game of his life. Considering he was being accused of cheating, he was having his gameplay questioned based on the fact that he was able to drop 40 bombs. But look at the run of games prior to the game where he actually got 28 kills. 0 kills, 6, 16, 4, 0, 0, and they were all on February 14th in a row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So a total of 7 games were played, including the one that he decided.
Again, it's not 7 games, it's 5, because the bottom 2, there's no damage done, no kills. In fact, he comes 35th with no kills, no damage, so that game he probably wasn't even playing. So it's 5 games with a 16 and a 28 bomb, fairly sort of standard. If you think you're going to be dropping 40 bombs at a whim when you want to record a video like this, then that's pretty unrealistic expectation
to put into his video, which is why there was a small edit between his intro and going straight into the gameplay. The question is, how many times did he sit there and record all that information, record all the things he was saying before loading into the game? He would have had to do that every single time unless them cameras were edited in over the gameplay. But again, Zlaner did not mention the fact it took him 7 games to be able to drop the 28 kill game that he included in his first response video. He left that bit out.
Just to quickly say, it doesn't matter how many games it takes you to get a certain amount of kill game. That's not proof one way or the other if you're cheating or not. It makes no sense. You can't say someone isn't cheating because they dropped a 40 bomb on their first game. Well, that's never going to happen. So again, it's not really proof either way of anything. It's just sort of word salad.
Made out like he'd just gone straight into one game and dropped 28 kills. There you have it. When in fact it took him 7 games. Not like Joe, who did it all on camera recently and proved that he was able to load into a game, drop a 20 bomb and go on from there into a Caldera game and drop some kills in there as well. And this is exactly the difference between what Joe did and what Zlaner did. And it's things like this that make people believe that Zlaner is hiding something, because he never tells the full truth. He never shows the full thing. He always cuts corners. He always hides things. And it always feels like he's lying to.
Always cut corners. I like that use of the word cut corners, because it goes back to the fact that BBB was cutting frames out of videos to make things look more snappy. But anyway. Interesting use of the word cut corners there.
His community. And if that isn't the case, and this is just simply him making an error somehow and not including the information, then so be it. Hopefully he can address these things in the future. But for now, I want to break down exactly what he's up to and how he's been manipulating his viewers for so long. Because this right here is just the tip of the iceberg. We now know that on his first response video, the intro shows an edit into the gameplay. So he doesn't even show the game being loaded straight away, straight into the game. Anything could have been injected before that. And then we've seen the COD tracker from that day that shows a potential reverse boost attempt, as well as the fact that he wasn't open and honest with his community, that it took him 7 attempts to get that 28 kill game. But let's go and take a look at all the moments from my videos that he tried to debunk that were never accusations in the first place. So now we've addressed the manipulation from his part 1 video, this is the addressing accusations part 2 from Zlaner. First of all, I want to point out at the start where he states at this point in time he knew I had done 3 videos on him, which means that he will have watched them, or potentially watched them, or maybe just seen the fact there were 3 there, which means that he will have hand selected from those 3 videos which parts to address in this video today. You can go back and watch all 3 of those videos. I will link them in the description below. They are the 3 videos that led to Zlaner. Let's listen to what he had to say here.
100 videos on me if I don't say something, because he's already on part 3 of accusing me of hacking, and I'm just not going to have my name slandered. I've
Meet Filmora 11, the video editor that can do more.
I've worked very, very hard to build my online presence and grow my brand and try to be the best player that I can be, while all I am trying to do every day is create content because I love to do it, and I love knowing that there are people out there that love and enjoy watching it. And that's what I am passionate about at my heart, at my core. And I really do not appreciate when people try to come in and not just come in and, like, because they're uninformed, because this person is uninformed and doesn't have much knowledge on the game, but also goes a step
Very
further
true.
and manipulates clips and takes them out of content, so tries to make me look like I am hacking. That is ridiculous. I'm not going to stand for that. And if you are someone that doesn't think that I should be making this part, please just try to put yourself in my shoes. That's really all I have to say about that. But anyway, part 2 of 2 in this video. What we're going to be talking about here today, who we're going to be addressing here today, is none other than the clout chasing, clip manipulating, rootin' tootin', one and only Bad Boy Beeman. Now, he doesn't really like when people call him out for exactly what he is.
Using his name for clout. Fuck off.
But this video, at the end of this video, there's actually very quickly into this video, after the first gotcha,
Even he's selected that. It's funny.
you're already going to get a great idea that this person is out here to slander names. He's not actually out here to seek the truth. He's out here to utilize people that have already built names for themselves, and he's out here trying to tear those names down, and while also using those names in his own titles to get.
I will just say the whole using names thing. I mean, to be honest, if you're growing a if you're growing a YouTube channel, and he did a lot of videos where he was like showing streamers that were cheating, that were just unknown streamers, and you can probably imagine that not many people probably watch those videos as much as they might do initially. It's a bit like people watch about people they know, don't they? If a video came out, Tim the Tatman caught hacking, it's going to have more views than Joe blogs on Facebook with his 50 followers and 1 viewer caught cheating. No one really cares. So as you want to grow your channel, you'll start looking at your channel and think, oh, actually, I'm getting more views when I'm using bigger names or interrogating bigger names. So that is probably why you would go after those names.
Get more views.
Okay, so straight away you can hear through this moment that he's slating my name. Not only that, he is already building up the opportunity to incorporate other streamers' clips into his video, and the reason for that is because he wanted to use everything possible, every power he could get his hands on, to disprove what I do, to disprove the accusations against him. Now let me explain something. Zlaner at this point had about 15 damning clips in 3 videos from myself, and he chose to build up this opportunity to use other streamers' clips from videos I had made, Huskers being one of them, Aiden being another, not to disprove accusations against him, but to discredit me. And this was something else that I found extremely manipulative of.
I think the thing with that you got to understand is he's using those other videos because he's trying to make the audience understand that not just against him, but you've interpreted stuff on other people that you've said is them cheating or hacking that's totally wrong, and therefore making the audience understand how when you're looking at other people you're making wrong assumptions of things, therefore helps people come back to him to understand that the very person making these accusation claims, i.e. yourself, don't understand stuff, because you're making other claims and other people that are completely wrong, and he explains why they're wrong. So if you're totally misunderstanding how the game works or how this works with someone else, it therefore makes your point and your opinion on him less valid, which is why he would do that.
Of Zlaner. And this is something that you will notice throughout this whole video today that he has tried to do and succeeded in doing, by the way. He manipulated not me and my community, but his own fans, his own community, and the people who send him donations and support him. They are the people he manipulated into believing him because they wanted to believe him. Reason to continue to support him because that's
Skip ahead a bit.
because they're debunking my videos. But then what I'm going to do after each one of these debunk moments, I'm going to show you the clip from my video and what I actually said.
He drags it out quite a bit in the old BBB. Just get to the point.
He spent about 10 minutes of his video addressing a moment and an accusation that did not occur. I'm going to play it through from his point now on his video and what he had to say on it. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you the moments from my video that he's just tried to debunk. Stay with me on this, guys, because this is the start and it's only going to get more interesting as we go through, because he is debunking something
really
that he was never accused of from me in that video.
Possible to see these players, but in my clip, it's very, very easy to see these players. So let's just go through and see what he has to say. What's up, folks? Just slide in here real quick. One thing that I explained in the video that YouTube rendering makes clips look even a little bit less like quality. It diminishes the quality of the video already every time you take the clip and you upload it to YouTube. One thing that I noticed in watching this video back is that you actually can't see as clearly as I say you can the second person in the zone behind the rock in this gas clip. You can't see them as well as I actually say you can. I can see them because I'm looking at the actual source clip, so you can't see it as clear as I can. But if what we did, just to be completely sure.
By the way, that is a 100% true thing again. So again, people think it's all just a load of lies. The more you compress a video and upload it, you'll lose quality, and therefore you'll get more graining, and therefore things become less clear. Where if you look at the original VOD or the original gameplay, it will look completely different, especially when it comes to certain situations where you see like people moving in windows, or you see little bits of someone moving. If you watch the video back, you probably wouldn't even see it sometimes, but actually you caught a glimpse of it in the live gameplay.
Certain, because I'm almost positive that someone's going to go down in the comments and be like, no, we can't see it as good as you can. I have uploaded, my editor put down in the bottom of the description a link where you can click on and you can actually go download a Google Drive file of that particular clip, and you can go analyze it even better of the actual source clip itself, so you can see exactly what I see, and you can much clearer see this person in the zone in the rock. Anyway, that's
very true, and I've watched that, and it's much clearer.
This person is there, and I'm on controller, so I have aim assist. When you're in the gas, your aim assist doesn't.
So that's about 142 different reasons that he's given already for why he could see somebody in the gas. Just moved my camera up here because obviously on the original video that I put out, my camera was in the bottom right.
Just to further build on that point as well, in this clip, basically when he's shooting someone in the gas that you can't really see in the video, do you really think someone that's cheating with spectators of people like Huskers in his team watching him on a live stream, he's going to start just randomly shooting a guy in the gas that you can't see, but he can because he has wall hacks? What? Hello? You would just not shoot that guy because you'd be like, oh, I can't really see him, or I'm not supposed to be able to see him, so I'll just wait until he becomes visible. You wouldn't just start lasering someone that you can't see, but you can because you've got hacks. Why would you do that?
Right as well, and I don't want you guys to miss what I'm saying and talking about throughout.
Go away magically. So I know this person's there. It's a very simple shot to hit. It's that easy. Anyway.
Huskers is trolling in this one. I'm guessing he is. Huskers doesn't like me very much either. But in this gameplay, Zlaner is hanging around with Joe and Huskers and just between them.
Oh, he looks over to the camera, how could he have done that? Now, this is another great part to pause and explain another thing.
Let me state something now. My eyebrow raise in that moment had nothing to do with that enemy on top of the crane, because he already had prior knowledge of that, but that's not going to stop Zlaner rambling on now for another 10 minutes in this clip about how my eyebrow raise is an accusation against him, causing him to get a video editor to go out of his way and re-render and recolor different moments from this clip to
just skip ahead again.
Played on. What was it I was saying?
Zlaner is guys are streaming to tens of thousands.
That is why I've gone. Because I was the topic of conversation.
That is very important. The start of this clip, this is another thing that he likes to do, is he likes to take things very, very out of context. So he'll take clips where I know where a certain player is.
Again, I mean, there is a prime example. Look, on there, you'd be like, you cannot see anything. But in the actual gameplay, you can see things better than that. So therefore, that is just, yeah, that's just one of those things where you watch a recorded video that's been uploaded, you're just going to lose the fact that you could probably make out the crane in someone's shape right there. So.
And he cuts the first part out so it doesn't give you that information, and then he will show it in this. And then he's super surprised. Oh, how could he have known he was there? How did he beam him through the gas like that? I can't see on my POV. Well, if I close this down and I go to my POV of the gas, obviously, look at this, a much, much clearer video. And I'm going to start it back a little bit further, where I'm running down here in the...
And you can through the ceiling. But again, what I want to state right now, I'm going to play this in its full entirety from my video, which was from the part 3 video again. And it shows...
I get this quite a lot in the game as well. When enemies are hidden like in corners of buildings, a lot of the time their gun model will actually push through the wall. So the amount of times I approach buildings or doors and you can see their model sort of clipping through the wall makes it very easy to understand that there's an enemy right up there. So therefore you know exactly where to look.
The enemies come through the wall, you'll hear exactly everything word for word of what I say and state through this video. And the whole purpose of it being in my video was because Zlaner slipped up and said my aim lock, my aimbot, my freaking aim assist, right? The whole point of it. So I've showed you the moment that he was talking about before showing you him talking about it. Let's play it through now.
For those of you who follow me on Twitter, you may or may not have already seen this clip. This actually shows Zlaner locking through the wall, through the roof. You can see the enemy's gun here. So he knows the enemy's up there, that's fine. I'm not calling him out for wall hacking here at all, no. But what you will see here is his aim at...
I'm just going to pause it there a quick second. Remember that moment right there where I state I am not calling him out for wall hacking at all. You can see the enemy's gun through the wall, well, the ceiling.
Actually locking through the roof. So he knows the enemy's there. But the best part about this is Zlaner actually says that he was locking through the wall. Watch this.
He's looking
I'm
over at me.
literally getting locked through the wall.
Play left. He's looking
I'm
over at me.
literally getting locked through the wall.
That's true.
I mean, that's not... So he says, I'm not even getting a lock through the wall. I mean, that's kind of a... That's a word that a lot of people aim assist call it, because aim assist could be that strong that you can feel it as you're pulling across targets, slow down and almost like lock onto the target, because that's kind of how strong aim assist is. So using the term lock is not like, oh, aimbot, aim lock, as if that's now he's referring to it being a cheat. I mean, it's just a word you could use, and therefore locking is kind of like the amount of times you shoot someone and go, oh, I locked onto him perfectly there. I mean, loads of people say that, oh, that was a great shot, I locked on perfectly. Doesn't mean I'm using cheats. It just means the word lock as in I lasered him. It's that kind of wording. So again, it's not proof of anything. It's just word salad.
Oh, shit on me. On me.
But not only did he actually lock through the roof of that building onto the enemy, who he knew...
Which, by the way, you can do. Again, speaking to controller players, sometimes when models are clipping through walls or glitching, the game itself kind of doesn't understand if they're this side of the wall or not. So therefore, aim assist sometimes... You'll notice people, when they scan across bushes and things like that, they'll get the slowdown of aim assist, even though they can't see the target themselves, because aim assist is still kicking in, because aim assist is not always taking into account the terrain in front of you that is there blocking your view, but because it's just a bush, sometimes it thinks it still gives you aim assist, etc. So therefore, that happening on someone's model that's clipping through a wall is a fairly common thing that can happen.
He was there, but he's still locked on. He then called it out as well, saying, I've just locked on this guy through the roof. He said it in quite a small tone, you know, it was quite hidden. So within the space of 2 minutes in this gameplay, which by the way was in a tournament, he locks onto somebody through the roof. and then says, I've just literally locked onto someone through the roof. He then jumps out and absolutely laser beams 2 guys and doesn't miss a bullet. Okay, it was close quarters, but look how accurate it is, and look exactly where the bullets were hitting. And then after that situation on Twins, he then comes down by the garage and he has a slip of the tongue. Let's call it a slip of the tongue, and I want you guys to be serious with me now. Why would somebody who's streaming, who's got 500,000+ followers, be talking about aimbot while they are live, especially when they are in a tournament?
Because, so again, your evidence is, why would someone be talking about aimbot when they're live? Why not? It's like, it doesn't mean anything. It's just like, okay, so if he starts talking about flat Earth, all of a sudden that means he's now a conspiracy theorist. He thinks the Earth's flat. No, you can talk about things. It's not a taboo word. It's not something you're not allowed to talk about. In fact, people do talk about it and joke about it because it's one of those things that the people that play with them understand how these sort of videos and the people that think like this are like flat earthers essentially and don't understand anything.
And look how he tries to correct himself. Look at his facial expressions after he said it. The guy wasn't trolling, in my opinion. I don't believe he was trolling whatsoever. I believe he slipped up massively and then tried to correct it afterwards. Watch this.
I was fucking, my aimbot was, my aim freaking, aim assist was just going right through the wall on that guy.
Obviously, we put it on repeat because who doesn't want to hear that 100 times? Obviously, we had to cut it down because 100 was too many. We've got plenty more to go through in this video. But you see the awkward look that he actually gives the camera afterwards, which is what actually sold it for me, that the guy slipped up big time rather than trolling. This is the awkward look right here.
Doesn't look that awkward, really, to be honest. And when you freeze frame someone, you can get all sorts of expressions. Again, doesn't mean anything. And someone just using the word aimbot doesn't therefore mean it's now categorically 100% proof they're cheating.
Yeah. He looks straight at his chat like, oh shit, I've met.
Now you've seen it from my video, I clearly state that I wasn't accusing him of wall hacks, and I've played it in its full entirety so that you guys can. You just say at Zlaner official, your aimbot ? Is there anything within that tweet that would give you the idea that I've accused him of wall hacks? Is there? No. He's now trying to claim the fact that the clip I've shared doesn't show prior knowledge of that enemy on the roof is somehow me trying to manipulate the footage into making people believe he's using wall hacks, when in fact the whole purpose of that clip is clearly stated in that tweet. What did you just say, Zlaner official?
Again, so if you're hacking video on someone, your proof you're using is one of your big bits of proof in your video you're going to put out is he used the word aimbot. That's it. That's your, okay, he misspoke a word. There you go, that's proof. Done. Okay. There you go. That's it. Don't need evidence. We just need someone to say the wrong word, and that's it. They can't go back on that now. I mean, if that's the limit of the evidence you have, that that's actually a whole segment of this video based on a word that was said, then it's pretty poor.
Your aimbot ? So that is clearly showing that I was focused on what he said rather than what the clip actually shows, right? And that was the first time I ever
Go to another segment now, further
video,
along.
Which again, Zlaner decided to leave out of his hackusations video.
And it just makes you think, if this guy truly was trying to do that, what reason would he have to cut the clip down to the point where you can't even have the information that this guy is right here? He cuts the...
Don't you just hate it, like Zlaner says, when people
He's gun here.
I think
But
is this all he's got?
This clip. Let's continue watching. Which looked like the lock the Zlaner got, and none of them said lock.
Okay.
They both said aim assist slowdown. Joe and J-God calling it aim assist slowdown. And that is after Zlaner's built the narrative of aim assist lock being a thing. But this section comes after he showed J-God demonstrating aim assist slowdown. And this is another point where it shows he clearly did not want his viewers to see the real reason I put this clip out, which was simply just to show him saying my aim lock, my aimbot, my frickin' aim assist. Let's watch it.
But then there's also the complete opposite of that as well. And Joe explains in his video where there are times where you 100%, especially when someone's leg is sticking through the floor and his gun is sticking through the floor, where the aim assist is still going to track it slightly, and you're going to get a little bit of slowed down movement. That's just how it works. I literally...
Again, yeah, 100% a thing. I don't play on controller myself, but I understand how that works, and I have played a controller, so I do know how it works. But yeah, a lot of times you'll see players almost move their cursors across with a controller, and when you sense that slowdown, and once you get good and get used to it, you can sense that slowdown, especially near bushes, things like that. Enemies hiding in bushes, you can kind of scan across bushes. Once you sense that slowdown, you know exactly that there's someone there, and you can start shooting.
Really don't know what else to tell you, and this guy seems to not be able to understand that. He's got his hand up to his ear. He's surprised as to what I just said, even though it's very, very straightforward and simple. And then he zooms in on these beams of these guys that, like, they're, like, I'm assuming he's calling aimbot there as well. Those are literally the most normal beams I've ever seen in my life.
Again, he skipped back.
Little beam. Transfer and beam. I'm
Fairly
just...
standard.
And that was
Again,
the
this
start
goes
of the
back-
moment. Right there was the start of the moment where I start discussing what Zlaner had to say about it. And he paused it. Why not play it through?
Back to me.
Narrative throughout that whole video. This one small rendering issue that I had. I've actually done a part 4 video where I explained in full detail how this occurred. And I also showed the full video in a Google Drive document in the description of part 4. That way people could see the video how I intended it to go out in the video. Everything I explained whilst I was talking over this clip was intended for me to be talking over the original footage, not one that had paused and frozen due to a rendering issue. But it was massive for Zlaner to find this moment, because without this moment in his video, he wouldn't have been able to spin the narrative that I manipulate footage throughout. People would have saw through the bullshit that he was putting out, and they would have seen how much he was attempting to manipulate them. Because I'll be honest with
this point here. I'm sure you're probably already aware of it, about the whole cut frames. I actually don't think he did cut frames. I don't even think he'd sort of have the understanding and the cleverness beforehand to think, oh, I'm going to cleverly cut some frames here to make this look worse. In my opinion, if you've got such a vendetta, there's enough footage of Zlaner doing all sorts of snappy things that are just normal, but people don't understand, call hacks, that you wouldn't even need to manipulate footage like this to do it. So regardless of the rendering issue or not, it's still reasonably snappy anyway, that someone that doesn't understand would call out. So I don't think he has done any sort of legitimate sort of editing of the video itself, BBB, in my opinion. But either way, without that, he's still claiming that it looks really snappy, which, you know, it looks the normal sort of snap that a good player has, unfortunately.
he did not even do a good job of it. He obviously knew at that point in...
As soon as that enemy dies, and I don't mean goes down, I mean dies, instantly, and I'm not saying like a couple of milliseconds later, it instantly flicks onto the other downed enemy. Watch this now. From the split second.
Now broken down all of the clips, footage, manipulate his paying supporters, his donators, and any fans he has. Eat it up and believe him. But I'm hoping now this video opens the eyes of the many who did believe Zlaner, and maybe now you'll understand why I ask why he didn't address the clips that were mentioned in my videos. And that shows a hell of a lot more about Zlaner as a person than anything. And Zlaner, I will give you the opportunity to actually explain yourself personally to me. You can come on the BBB podcast, we can sit down and we can go through every single one of the videos that is in the Google.
And then it's just a load of rubbish. So, I mean, I don't understand why this video is out. So this video's come out today, 30th of March, 2022. Zlaner lied to you all. And it's basically just Zlaner's response video and him talking back about the points made. I mean, there's nothing in this video. There's nothing in here that shows anything of anyone being suspicious. It all just goes back to people not understanding how higher tier gameplay looks, decision making at higher tier gameplay, how the mechanics of the game work, how you can look quite snappy. I mean, especially with keyboard and mouse. I mean, if you looked at some of the best players in the world, BBB, with a keyboard and mouse, there's more left and right snap, because with a keyboard and mouse, you can left and right snap 10 times more than you can with a controller. and yet that's not suspicious. It's just, unfortunately, does look similar sometimes to what an aimbot could do, because an aimbot is literally just copying that motion of being able to snap to a target. And if you can do that yourself naturally, then you've got what looks like aimbot all of a sudden, so now you're cheating. It's like, that's just, again, it's just not a valid argument from someone who can't do that, let's say, and is used to playing in lower KD lobbies where they're just walking around, camping in a building, getting a few kills. Of course, that's going to look completely different to proper sweaty players that are running around using all the mechanics of the game to their advantage. That's just the way it looks, unfortunately, when you play this game on keyboard and mouse or with aim assist and a controller.
Google Drive documents, and those clips are the ones that you did not address whatsoever in either of your accusation responses.
Right, so I think that just wraps up that video and what he's done. I mean, I'm happy to look at his original video and then break down the points that he's saying Zlaner didn't break down and actually go through why there's nothing wrong with those at all as well. But again, this video seems, again, it's just, to me, it's like it's like watching flat earth videos. They just, from the very beginning, it's like the Dunning-Kruger effect. From the very beginning, they don't understand that they don't understand. So therefore, from the very get-go, everything they're saying is just almost based on something that's wrong. So therefore, they don't understand. It's trying to educate people that don't understand the game. Obviously, you're going to get people that are calling out hacks because they just don't understand. And you just accept that, especially higher tier players. They accept that people like that won't understand. But it is pretty much the Dunning-Kruger effect with a lot of this stuff of just not understanding, but thinking you're an expert. And therefore, everything you say is you thinking that this is the baseline of truth of what everything should be because I know it all, but you don't. There's so much stuff you don't understand. So yeah, right, that was this video. I will do another video on, I'm going to go do his video of all the stuff that he's saying Zlaner did not address, and I will address it myself on Zlaner's behalf of what's going on, what my take is on that. So thanks for tuning in. I'll see you all on the next video. Remember, hit that subscribe button, and I'll catch you all later.